solution we had to find in a moment. That's all the strategies for the restoration. Each one of the colors means something different, of course. That's building. When we go through, these are the photos of the 50s that let us understand how it was, the ceiling, because this building, this area, this room became this. You see, completely different. So the ceiling was completely closed and the walls were covered by wood during the 50s. That's the painting we found out and we stored completely because it was almost vanished. And this is the original sitting room, which was completely divided in three, and then with vaults on top of it. We found out that's the central area with the highlight. Look how it is while we are searching for paintings. The frescoes, that's a fresco, we found out. That's the situation now. That's the other room where we found out the original how it is restored. We had to replace some small parts. In that case, we used a color which is a little bit different from the original, in a way that entering, you can realize that the two parts are not of the same hand and not of the same period, but they are similar in a way that you have the sense of the complete drawing. That's the pavement. That's how we managed. We kept off the mosaics, the original mosaics. We just restored them. Then we made an analysis, a scientific analysis of the stone we had on the pavement from the chemical point of view. And then even understanding from which part of Italy used to come this color, we found it, the same color, we made the same dimension of the grains, and we remade it exactly as it was and how it was. Each room had a different color and a different mosaic. You see, we replaced them. So this is the center. That's how we worked on it by hand. That's the main entrance. That's the vault of the first skylight. That's the building seen from the stairs. That's the building seen from the other side. That's the blue, deep blue you have on the walls. These are the paintings, the magnificent paintings of the countryside, of the Roman countryside, which were painted by famous Italian Coleman, which is in English origin, but he was Roman. These are the details of doors. The handle had the letters of the owner, FD, Francesco Durante. They were made just for him. That's the space, how it is. That's the outside. Last thing, while we were, let's say, restoring this building, we found out over there, you can see some letters, just few, which were connected but without sense, just few letters, just in the empty space. So we kept them, we put the position of the letters, we called a famous Latinist, Italian Latinist. We could, let's say, understand what was the original writing, and we remade it on the wall in a way that we have almost the same building. Thank you.
Let's make some break.
It was important, this part.
Thank you, Professor Amadio. أي سؤال؟ هو يمكن المبنى الآخر هذا يمكن أعطانا فرصة أكبر نفهم بالضبط كيف يسوي restoration ويحاول يعمل شيء يعيده من جديد. Yeah, we'll take a break. تحبوا 5 دقائق 10 دقائق تفضل.
The night blue there was the place. You selected or it was there before?
What?
The night blue.
The night blue is was underneath.
Oh, okay.
I tell you, when we discovered it, we were not surprised, because that silhouette, it was unusual. Even, you know, there was no relation among the color of the pillars, which were of marble, which were surrounding the doors, and the color of the walls. But this, you just feel this, so you don't know. And you know, we were also afraid not to find anything, because it could be possible, you know, they just destroyed it and replaced something else. Instead, we were lucky because we found it. And when they called us saying, "Come on, come here," we get immediately there, and it was astonishing because we understood everything of that space. The space had his reason. You know, this is a work of a mastermind. It's not something, you know, you can you know, pass through. It's something in our life probably will be the most important restoration we have done, because you know, it's an experience. That's why at the end now we have just left a few books. We made a book of this, on this building, on this research, a book, and we prepared on ourselves as a professional answer to the request of the client. It was not requested. We wanted to do it on our, let's say, wish, just to, because we are so satisfied of that. شكرا شكرا.
اتصور انه حنواصل يا شباب، حنواصل المحاضرة شوية نص ساعة وبعدين ناخذ البريك مع صلاة العصر. معنا البروفيسور أمير باسط من إرسيكا، وطبعا هو شريك معنا في البرنامج التدريب الصيفي والتدريب الربيعي، وسوف يتحدث الآن عن الحفاظ بصفة عامة، الترميم والحفاظ وما يتبعه من الأمور. ويتفضل أستاذ أمير.
طبعا يا شباب، بس للتذكير، المشروع اللي شفتوه آخر شيء فاز بجائزة أوروبية، يعني أفضل جائزة أوروبية للترميم اعترافا، وتم تسليم جائزة لأميديو وابنه أندريا من ملك الدنمارك. دنمارك يس. يعني شغلة مهمة جدا هذا الترميم وبشكل
I will talk you in general about the preservation of Islamic urban heritage. I am coming from Irsika, and then we are dealing, one of our activities is preservation of Islamic urban heritage. We are established in 1980 as a part of Organization of Islamic Cooperation. And then we have different activities like congresses, symposia, competition, long-term projects. And one of this actual one is the Al-Quds Jerusalem, 2015. Then next one, what we're preparing now is the rehabilitation of Syria after the war. And then Islamic Architectural Heritage Database. This is program sponsored by His Royal Highness Prince Sultan bin Salman. And then we have awards for excellence, exhibition, website, visitors, many, publishing close to 200 books, and then newsletter regularly, website, etc. Like I just want to mention this because all these activities, if you like to preserve heritage, you must deal with all aspects of the story to understand what's happening. We have very rich library, and then focusing on Islamic heritage. And then like it's a hub for researchers, especially because we have huge collection of photographs, for example, from Sultan Abdul Hamid, around 70,000 historic photographs. And based on this collection, we are publishing many albums. Last one came Mecca and Medina from 120 years ago. We have Jerusalem, Al-Quds, Jerusalem. We have different cities now, maybe 5, 6 cities collection. This is end of 19th and beginning of the 20th century. It's very useful for research. Professor Del showed this how it's important to find any small sketch in the documents. And for example, in this very moment, related with some project in Bosnia, we are translating 760 deeds, land deeds in Bosnia, Vakufname. And we have a calligraphy. Calligraphy is like telling second art of Islam after architecture. And we have till now 9 exhibitions. And this is 9th one finished last year. And we have in participation more than 1,000 calligraphers every year. And in different categories, many awards are given. But it's very important that we organize permanent training. About architecture, you can see this was King Fahd Award, 85, 86. Then we have an international competition because late son of King Faisal, he was president of the Commission for Heritage for many years. And then we have a different other project. This is some to see some publication what we having done, discussing Islamic civilization in complete Muslim world, because we are institution for 57 Muslim countries and we have 5 observer countries like India, Russia, Bosnia, etc. And then what is very important, I want to emphasize research, research and research. This is one of the albums what is published in 3 languages, Arabic, English and Turkish. And a collection of the photographs with explanation. And each photograph is great value for any project what we are developing in Al-Quds. This is, we have republishing the oldest copies of Quran from Topkapi, from Yemen, from Tashkent. This is related with the time of Caliph Ottoman. And then this is from, with big studies of many researchers at the same time. And then we are publishing different historic albums related with different countries. For example, relation with Japan, Afghanistan, Yemen. Now, last one I don't have here, about Islamic world in Poland. Because Poland was very important European Catholic state, all time fighting. Then we have many academic congresses trying to discuss different subjects in different parts of the world. Far East, Africa, Balkan, you see that by states what we have here written, North Africa, South Africa, Senegal, like Morocco, Egypt, etc. And then we have a craft development program ongoing non-stop now. Current one is happening now in Sharjah, because Sharjah is capital of Islamic cities this year. Every year, this is in collaboration with CESCO, other affiliated organization of our system. The director of this organization is Saudi Dr. Tuerji, and they are settled in Morocco. And then we have a special program on Islamic archaeology. But this is IRSICA award given to people with contribution to Islamic heritage preservation and research. This is some images. In the middle you can see Sayyid Qasimi of Sharjah. He support many projects, and for example he told when he receiving this award that he was studying war between Arabs and Portuguese in the 15th century, and we spent a few days in our library but didn't find anything. But for hospitality he was giving a check of $1 million to support library. It was very nice from him. You see the people are coming from different countries, and this is Saudi King Abdullah in our library, our center, visiting center, like from all countries. But now talking about heritage. Islamic heritage projects is based on research, education, preservation and development. First is research, but to make research you must educate people to research. To make preservation you must educate people to make preservation. To make development you must educate people to make development. It's meaning that software of everything is good education. And this is what I told you beginning today, what I suggest to bring Sultan bin Salman. Let's educate educators. Let's educate teachers first. Because teachers should be educated to educate others, and based on the system what is existing now, they are not very well educated. They are specialized, but very difficult to understand the system. And I want to tell you for the system, this is activities chart. Like you have permanent research on Islamic heritage, and you have project based on research, and then something what is following all research and making is database. And this is research report, what I mentioned before, very limited number of Muslim countries has heritage on the World Heritage List, because thanks to many aspects, for example, you see, this is some statistics, in 2010, very limited number is in Muslim country. And then you see, just 27 of member states have listed properties, and then 2 member states do not have properties listed in the World Heritage List or properties presented in the media. Like you have many heritage presenting in the media of different countries, to Ministry of Tourism, different organizations, etc. But very limited number is really elaborated to be registered. And then 2 most important sites are in your country, Mecca and Medina. And this is beginning of all these stories what we're discussing about city. If you like to study history, for example, Medina constitution during the Prophet time is something what is probably basic law legislation document what can be used today after 15th century. And then this is competition, and this is some competition what was done, organized by us in Jeddah for new headquarters of OIC. We have 93 entries, 31 countries, but still is not realized. This is winning project, Light Garden and the Tower, Light of Islam is winning, and this is something what we together organized with the Saudi Commission for Tourism and Antiquities in 2010. And then this is information about database. Like everything, we are moving left and right, returning back to database, because database is storage for all our research and information. And you can find this is database is based on 4 levels: basic data for general public, ordinary people; property inventory, more deep research; property in urban context. This is like higher level. And supporting documents for real researchers who are not visible on the web. This is system. And then formation of the program, case studies, we have 19 case studies, etc. Then involvement of OIC country, but to tell you very clear, a country that not possible to find country to have so much systematized documents. We just realized this with Saudi Arabia, because the Saudi Commission for Tourism Antiquities elaborated, and we put 44 monumental structures from Saudi Arabia. Maybe it can be 1,000, but we have 44. Because the spatial criteria, Turkey has 10,000 nationally registered, but it's very hard to put them on the way what we are asking, because everybody try to have the system. This is something program that is starting to discuss like Turkey, Palestine, Bosnia, Herzegovina, and Uzbekistan, and to focus on 12 monuments, just to test. It's looking very easy, but it's quite hard, because when you start going in detail to study one building, you have a lot of research, like what you show what Professor done on this house of this famous doctor. And this is like how is distributed this like focus on 2007, we're starting on 19 key like cities, what we try to put like key cities to understand Islamic urban heritage, starting from the Atlantic to the Central Asia and India subcontinent. This is page what you can find. This is country what is listed, how is looking this site, basic information, more deep information, basic drawings, etc. Define historic period. You can go search by country, by architect, etc. And then like Based on this, the idea was that every country established their units to run like be a zone officer on the project, but it's going very hard because cooperation among countries are very low level to be understandable. And this is list what we elaborated. And then research on Islamic heritage. This is the 15th century of transition, starting, I told you before, in Mecca and Medina. And then how Islam spread all during the world, what is percentage of population in different Muslim countries and other countries. For example, in New York we have more than 150 mosques. This is Islamic heritage. It's United States, but Islamic heritage. This is how to access architecture. You have very important monuments all over the world. You have going deep in detail of each one. You saw in previous presentation. You have so many aspects of art and crafts in every building. Plus you have a focus on calligraphic inscriptions. Because architecture, you can, from one point of view, take like the box for all other arts, what you can find. And then normal, we are talking about history, but we have a contemporary Islamic architecture, what is heritage for future generation of us. You will recognize some of this. Three I put my purpose from Saudi Arabia. And then development in Mecca and Medina from many, somebody complained because a lot of new structure is coming and maybe this urban harmony and balance. People should be very careful with this because from one side is service to Ummah, from other side we should maybe many other solution is possible to be studies. But in last period, normal studies are going to developing very fast. And something what is very important to understand what's happening, especially from the 19th century till today, is modernization or westernization of Islamic cities. Because something coming based on Ottoman tradition, because Ottoman losing power, and then when they sent first ambassador to Paris in second part of 18th century, after that moment everything what is coming from the West is looking like very good and outstanding, and then they call this alla franca. And everything what was like tradition alla turca, this is not good. And they starting with big transformation of the city, and normal, this is on different way happened in different parts of the world. In North Africa this came with French, in Middle East with British, in Central Asia with Russian occupation, in India by British occupation, like influence of the Western new approach and Western technology, and especially construction technology and urban planning came through occupation in many countries. Just in Ottoman Empire came by the will of the sultans, because they love this story. And this is something like how Islamic city developed. Quick view, this is not imaginary Islamic city. Through centuries, influences like how it's going. But I want to emphasize something what I discussed with one of you. Like key aspect of Islamic city are security given by fortification, what we can see on this model, proper performance of worship, commercial and residential areas strictly apart, and normal, maybe first important of water. I saw one poster coming here, water is guaranteed for life, something like this. Without water, normal, no life. And then in every city we can find this idea, we can find this formula, and then this is structure of the city. Like government is a fortification, religious is mosque, marketplace is bazaar or souk or charshi, and then around this you have a mahallas or neighborhood with their centers. In some centers, normal mahalla, you have people who are Christian or Jew in many Muslim countries. This is this different color. And through time, this is two types of organization. Something what is inland, looking for water, should be river, and something what is on the sea, but same structure. You have key components like fortification, periodical open market, musalla, like for big religious events like praying place, not Muslim religious structure, bazaar or souk, mahale, green areas, roads and river. And about roads, you have 4 levels of road. Main roads coming to the city, from coming to bazaar or to fortification, they stay basically one to each other for security reason, because fortification protecting the business. And then you are going down to like Mahale Center. From Mahale Center, you are going to basically like blind street to reach your housing complex. Then 4th level is housing complex in the city. Because then house is continue development of the tent. Because it's unique, basic units is room, and every room has same elements like tent has. And this is very important. Then you have common spaces when family meet together, and you have supporting. This is one typical scheme. Like you have a business area. What is in Ottoman is telling like selamlik when you're receiving like business or guest, or aramlik when you're family area of the city home. And Islamic city having development, European type of city is slowly eating, this root word eating Islamic city, piece by piece, and coming in the urban fabric and adding new fabric next to this. It's visible everywhere. Especially cutting of the area, what is introduced based on the Paris model Governor Osman, not to make Champs-Élysées. At that time he looking to make big boulevard that army can go fast and attack protesters. And this is different cities and urban scheme. How is developing Aleppo today is actual, and we are exactly starting in January Aleppo to study, to be ready for development, like for after the war, to make restoration. And this is like Giva Bukhara, Central Asian city. But all this city, this is Samarkand, center of Central Asia for centuries. And you can see this development, the brownish part is the Timurid city, 13th, 14th century, and this green part, totally orthogonal Russian part, regular with quick access to the citadel. And this is key Islamic city, 19th century, Istanbul. Westernization of these photos, painting the photos on the glass, because Sultan Abdul Hamid time westernization came, and he was very afraid to move out from the palace. He never left the palace. But he sent photographers all around the Islamic world and other part of the world to have information. Photographs were very important information. Now it's Twitter or Facebook, etc. At that time was photograph. And they introducing, especially from French architects, French architects, Italian architects. For example, Raimondo di Aronco working in Istanbul 20 years, designing half of the Yildiz Palace when Sultan was habitating. And all these elements you can find. But what is the state of monuments today? You have a continuation of original function, you have total destruction, partial destruction, natural ending of the function, something what can be told, something from the prehistory, etc. Conversion of cultural and religious concept and change of environment. And for example, to have an idea about Balkan, from 15,669 Islamic architectural structures, just 10% is preserved today. New states, European Christian states, trying to clean everything what is related with the Islamic heritage. For example, in Belgrade, capital of today, Serbia, from 101 mosques, just one mosque existing today. In Sofia, Bulgaria, from 71 mosques, just one mosque existing today. The original, still we visited last summer school, still is very disputable how it's functioning. And something what is happening, destruction in the end of 20th century, this is Bosnia, This is Mostar. City totally destroyed by aggression, and you see like how destruction is going. This is through time, from prehistory till today. Destruction was focused on Ottoman period, Islamic period exactly. They don't call this to Ottoman, they call it